Well, so you got the baby in the lap, and you got the wrestling on the TV. How's that working?
No, no, I use a tablet for the baby, and he watches Curious George, and then I use my phone to watch the wrestling stuff.
So who's using
I
the
try
TV
not
though?
to. No one, no one's using the TV. The TV needs an Android box, and nobody's gone out to get that because everybody's got like their phone or their tablet or whatever. It's like why do we have a TV? Because no one's using it anyway.
Yeah, and that was
It's just
kind
there
of
for decoration at this point.
yeah, that was kind of like the point I was trying to get to or whatever. I was like, do we even need TVs anymore?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know anyone that actually has cable anymore. They might have the physical TV, but it's like a smart TV. So basically, it's just there for Wi-Fi for whatever streaming service they're using.
True. I mean, and that's just kind of the way of the world now. I mean, cable was my mom and them was paying like damn near $300 for fucking cable, and that's just
Yeah,
outlandish to where you can get, you know, a subscription on through a streaming service for like $64 or something like that, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, you get multiples for way more than that. Yeah, you could probably have every streaming service for well under $300.
Yeah. But then again, you're back in that conundrum again where you're paying $300. but then
Yeah,
again, you
exactly.
but then again, you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah. I know a lot of people, they'll just, like, bounce around. They'll just, like, binge watch Netflix for 3 months. They're like, cancel that, head over to Amazon or whatever, Prime or something, watch that for a month or 2, and then, just cycle through them and, get whatever's good from whatever one you want, and then, cancel that and go something else.
Well, see that's the thing that I've been doing with professional wrestling because within the microcosm of professional wrestling itself, it has multiple streaming services or whatever. There's not like a monopoly on professional wrestling stuff or whatever because there's like IWTV for a certain select of indie promotions, and then
Yeah.
certain promotions have their own streaming services, and
Yeah.
then there's another sect of indie people that get together. They got their own streaming service and shit. So it's just like, fuck, I want to watch the wrestling, but it's like 30 fucking different streaming services and shit. And then it's kind of like hard for some of them because WWE has set the benchmark for all this stuff to where they had their service for $9.99 and you got everything, and everybody's trying to make their equivalent or better model than that. Everybody's trying to catch up now.
But ultimately, you can't catch up to WWE's backlog of content that they could put out there for you to watch. I mean, they got what, like 70 years of like how many different territories video there? It's like
Yeah.
it's hard to
No,
create that type of backlog, that type of back content.
the only people that I can think of that comes to mind right now, and we just talked about it ever so slightly a little while ago, is New Japan. They've been
Yeah.
around 50 years and they have just about a good majority of that 50 years archived in their streaming service, you
Yep.
know, and bar none, out of all the streaming services that I have used as it pertains to professional wrestling, New Japan World is probably by far the best user setup for the money. It is
But
$9.99 a month, but unlike all these other streaming services for professional wrestling, I can go to I can just type in a name, uh, Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'll click his
Mhm.
name, and it will have every recorded match that that company has ever had for that guy, just in chronological order from the first one all the way up to the current one.
That seems like really rabbit hole dangerous. Like, can you imagine that?
Yes,
Like, you just kind of like heard about a guy, you've seen like one of his clips, you're like, I want to go see more of his matches. All of a sudden, you see, wow, I have 500 matches to watch. Oh, I better get
exactly.
comfy.
Because like they had not too long ago they merged the IWGP Intercontinental title with the IWGP Heavyweight title. Now it's the
Mm.
IWGP World Heavyweight title. So I wanted to go back and watch the first match for the IWGP Intercontinental title. And all I had to do was go to the section that said titles. There was a picture of each individual belt that they ever had in the company. and I just clicked on the one that I wanted to know about, and it had every title defense for that title from the very first one all the way up to the current one. And I went all the way
Oh,
down to the
wow.
bottom. I went all the way down to the bottom, and I watched all the way up to current at the time when I was doing it. And it had every title well, you can watch every title defense, but the way they had it categorized, when you click on the title belt, it has every title change match in that category. So the first one, when it was first
Nice.
initially won, and then when it was won by the second ever person to hold it, then the third person, then the fourth person, then the fifth person, and it went all the way up to current.
Wow. That'd be yeah. I could see myself wasting a lot of time on that. That's like one of those services you're not gonna lose out on. It's like put in a full day's work on that.
Yeah, for real. So it's just like it's worth the money for all that things. But anyway, I still got an intro to do.
Good thing you can cut and transplant things.
No, I'm just leave it like that. We're gonna start here. What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back
Okay.
with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, who've been here for 6 minutes and 28 seconds, for coming back and listening every week or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first time listener, I'd like to thank you all so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I like to ask you to give that person a crisp high five. But if you want to be socially cautious and everything, people still getting sick. Those numbers are getting kind of lower now from what I understand. People walking around here with no mask and all kinds of shit anymore. So pick up your social media app of choice and send that person that recommended you to me a well-crafted DM saying thank you for recommending you to me. But speaking of social media, you can find the Random Ramblings with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show. I'm foraying into TikTok for a second. So you can find me on TikTok at 3R Show. It's some of the same shit that's on Instagram, but I'm going to TikTok first, then transplanting it into Instagram. So 3R Show on that shit. And if you want to see this interview, vice hearing it, you want to hear it and see it, you can go to YouTube and look for 3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, anything pertaining to the show, you can go to randomrob.com. Randomrob.com, to where you can find merchandise, different ways to support the show, including the motherfucking sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Go to hooksrub.com and get you some seasoning for your motherfucking food. We don't know goddamn bland ass chicken around this motherfucker. If you got little microwave meals with the little dinosaur nuggets and all that stuff, put some goddamn mad cow on that shit. Or where it is chicken, you can put some all-purpose seasoning on that bitch. You can put whatever you want. Whatever you want to put in your mouth hole, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices got the flavor for you, baby. Go to hooksrub.com and you can get 15% off your order by using promo code RANDOM. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Introduce yourself. You've been here before. You know
Oh,
how we go.
yeah. So, yeah, I've been here before. I was the guy that's witness protection in December, but I am Glenn B, aka Stinky Dad. I had a baby in between the last time that I was here, and now I stay at home, and I'm a stay-at-home dad that takes care of a baby all day. And I appear on random podcasts from time to time. But yeah,
So,
that's pretty much it. Sorry.
so what's that been like for you thus far? I mean, last time the baby was cooking, it was still marinating and everything, or whatever. Now the baby's
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
So you got a
Well,
boy or
it's
a
it's
girl?
a lot different for one. Yeah, I got 2 boys now. So I got
Oh
Cameron,
shit.
who's the wannabe cop, who's, like, 10, and he's also a wannabe YouTuber and yada, 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 and then I got the baby, and he's Colton, and he is the biggest daddy's boy, that you could ever imagine, whereas the other one was, like, a big mama's boy, but this one, it's like he can be with mom, and his first concern is, "Where's my dad at?"
So
So
you
that's
you
kinda
you
fun.
so you're doing the thing. I'm noticing a pattern here. You got Cameron with a C. You got Colton with a C. If you have a third, is that child going to have a C name too?
Possibly, possibly. I mean, Colton was just because she wasn't willing to go for baby Jesus. I was pitching baby Jesus for, like, months, she just wasn't willing to go for it, and finally, it was, like, Colton. I was like, "Okay, fine, Colton,"
Did
because
you
I
do
figured I
the
probably was gonna lose that battle.
did you want to name the child baby Jesus because of Talladega Nights?
No, I
Ah,
don't think
because
so, but
you don't
maybe.
remember
Maybe
the prayer?
subconsciously I might have, I do, but I don't think that was, like, a conscious decision, but you're right, that very likely could have been where that was inspired from. It could have been Talladega Nights.
Dear, what a 9 pound, 8 ounce little baby Jesus.
Yeah, that was a good scene. I think that probably is where that came from, actually, now that I
Oh,
think about it.
I know if I'm in a peril or any kind of dilemma or whatever, I know I randomly scream, "Help me, baby Jesus," or "Help me, Tom Cruise." Either one of those two things.
Yeah, I used to have this, like, theory when I was, like, probably a teenager, but I had this theory that, like, if you were coughing really hard, ironically, I coughed there, but I had this theory that if you scream out, like, "Help me, baby Jesus," or something to that effect, that, like, you just immediately stop coughing. I was like, "It's the power of baby Jesus, I'm telling you. Just scream out his name when you're coughing, you'll stop coughing."
I got this thing about me or whatever. If you got one of those coughing fits or whatever, you just like, oh, you swallow some drink the wrong way or whatever, you just can't stop coughing. I always do the weed trope and I'd be
Yeah.
like, that's some good shit.
Yeah, in my case, it was weed, but
Jelly.
back in the day
I'm so
anyway.
jelly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So do you
I
still
think
have
you had, like,
5
this.
podcasts?
I do, but they're all completely stalled. I was, like, highly confident going into my time as being a stay-at-home dad that, taking care of a baby was gonna be no problem, and dad could obviously continue to do 5 podcasts very regularly, edit them, release them, advertise them, take care of a baby, and get a good night's sleep, all at the same time, and boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. I've got so far. I've got one. I've been able to do one. I've been able to take care of the baby and to keep the baby happy, but I haven't been able to really record much, edit much,
Mhm.
advertise much, or get a good night's sleep.
Your baby sounds like my day job. To where I'm at my day job so
Yeah,
fucking much as to where like I can't do any of those things that you were just talking about.
yeah, yeah. I have to really plan out even trying to set aside an hour to do someone else's podcast, but then I don't do any work after the fact, so it's good for me because that's usually where it stops on the podcasting. I might get something recorded, but after that, it just kind of sits there on the hard drive saying, "Hey, you haven't dealt with me since last week. Are you gonna do that?"
He's like, "Hey, I'm still here, baby Jesus."
Yeah, yeah. And then I had this other theory, and I think I sent you the picture of it. I'm like, you know what? I bet you I can get the baby to do this podcast with me. He likes it when I talk to him. I'll just talk at him with the microphone in front of his face, the microphone of my face. It'll be like the cutest podcast ever. A dad talking to a baby. He started crying in 30 seconds. So
He's like, "Yeah."
that was where that he retired early.
So the older kid, Cameron, he's still doing his joint, right? Oh, that's
Yeah,
kinda like
when
a
we can. Yeah, it's like a joint effort, yeah. We found this, cool mobile game that was, I think it was, $10 or something, but I think it's called, 911 Operator, and so, the
I've
whole
heard of
thing
it.
is, yeah, but you, get to be the 911 operator, and, it sends you off to, these different crimes, and, you gotta deal with it or whatever, and I was like, "Well, shit, that could be, a really cool, fun thing for him to do as a podcast," just have
Mhm.
him playing the game and just have him talk the whole time through it, and so we did it once, but I was having issues with the audio and whatnot, and so that didn't get very far. And then he got grounded, so that got basically taken away.
Uh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
with the game aspect of it or whatever, had you ever thought about Twitch for him?
Not so much. I'm not sure that I really he's kind of an emotional character just playing Fortnite on his Nintendo Switch. But So I'm not sure I really wanna, like, submit him to, like, the
Yeah,
live stream thing
expose them to
just
all that
yet.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I'm okay with him, like, having a YouTube channel and, we'll do it, and maybe we'll have some of him video, but for the most part, I'm just, like, him talking or whatever, playing the game, being a 911 operator. He did his, like, first session was, like, 40 minutes, and so he just got up and walked away, and so I'm left with, like, the device still with the game on. So I look at it, I press continue, and it's like, "Hey, this is how you did on your first shift." It's like, "Your performance was not up to par. You're fired." I'm like, "Oh,
You trying to introduce them to life lessons and shit, right? Through video
right?
games.
Well, you gotta learn life lessons." But what I thought was
Mhm.
really cool is, like, so the second time I logged on to the game, it automatically pops up. It's like, "Hey, we see you're playing
People
from
are
this city."
dead.
No, it's like, well, that too. But we see that you're playing from this city. Would you like to download that map? So then, like, not only is he 911 operator, but he's 911 operator in his own city.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I thought that was really cool. That's like, this is actually something that, it's kind of fun. I was trying to do it with him at the beginning, and then I'm like, I'm just like getting in the way. I'm just gonna casually get up and walk out of the room and let you play.
Yeah, it's kinda like how, I can remember being a kid and being into video games and, like, for my era or, at the time when a lot of things were just coming into existence, like the Nintendo and, the Sega and all that stuff, we never had that before. So, my dad is already old as fuck, and he just come in there and see me playing these games, and it's a meme now that my youngest child has exposed me to where like the dad comes into the room, he's like, "Are you winning, son?" And she does that to
Yeah.
me. Like I'm sitting here, I'm playing like the Xbox or some shit, and she'll knock on the door and she'll come in here and she'll see me playing the game, and she'll be like, "Are you winning, son?" And I just like, oh shit, that's what my dad used to do to me. And then she showed me the meme because I asked her, I was like, "Where did you hear that from? Was it a movie or something?" And she's like, "No, it's a meme." Goddamn memes.
You're like, damn, you're starting to sound like your grandpa. That's weird.
Yeah. And so I do that to her, and I just walk in the room. She'll be drawing on her tablet. I mean, she don't even have to be playing video games. I'll just be like, "Are you winning, child?"
Is she the one did she also introduce you to TikTok videos? Or did
Well,
you
no,
find that on your own?
I found that on my own, and me and my wife used to like literally when I first found TikTok, I seen a video of a dog, a pit bull named Penny, and it was a guy doing like voiceover for the dog, making the dog talk and shit and say stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was fucking hilarious. And I showed my wife once, and she thought it was hilarious. And we would literally after work every night sit in the bed after we take showers and eat and everything, and just scroll through all the Penny videos on TikTok together, like shoulder to shoulder, backs up against the headboard and shit, pillows on our heads, just looking through TikTok and looking at Penny videos. That's how I discovered TikTok.
It's one way to discover it. At least you and your wife had, like, some sort of hobby you guys could do together.
And then what was funny about that, because like
Something.
my wife really don't get into tech too much. So she would rely on me to bring
Yeah.
my phone with the TikTok app on there so we can watch videos together, or so she can watch videos. And then I'll just be like, you could just download the
Oh.
app, right? And she's like, oh, no shit.
So now you guys just watch your own TikTok videos now.
Yeah, well, she's way in. I barely look at it anymore now. I just started recently doing it because, like, TikTok is fucking insane now. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, why not just take the extra couple of seconds to, put the same shit that I was putting on Instagram on TikTok? And TikTok makes it
Yeah.
extremely easy to post shit. Because, like, I could post something on TikTok, and then they give me options to post it other places when I'm done. I go to
Yeah.
fucking Instagram and I could do that, but it's not as I guess I don't I mean it's all
It doesn't
interactive.
transfer over well.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's when, like,
transfer
you
well
share
because
Instagram post. Yeah. Like,
it's
it'll
just like a
say, like,
link.
so and so shared a photo, and then it's a link to Instagram. You just end up back on the Instagram app. You can't just see the same content somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So they make it extremely shareable on TikTok, and I like that, and I appreciate that, or whatever. And then plus, because Instagram is my jam, despite all its problems, I can just boop, and it shoots it all automatically over the IG, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. 2 for 1. 2 for 1 special.
Exactly.
I think you had the same experience as I did when it comes to having, like, kids at one particular like, kind of, like, in your 20s and then having kids again later and having kind of, like, a wider age gap than maybe most.
Well, that's how it is. Yeah. So at 18, I had my first child, and
Yeah.
then a year, well, 2 years later, I had the second child. So they 2 years apart, the older two. But now
Yeah.
this one, way in 2010, pop up, and the other ones are already old as shit. I'm like, fuck. So my son graduated
Yeah.
what last year. He out of the house. So all we got is the little one. And the day he graduated, the day he left the house, my wife was like, "We could have been done. That could have been it." I was like, "Hey, it is what it is."
I kind of had the same reaction to this one. I was like when I found out about it, it's like, "But we were, like, 8 years from done." Like, 8 years. Now we're back to 18. We
Yeah.
have to we have to regain those 10 years.
My contract has been extended to 2028.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when this one
Damn.
that's when the little one graduates. 2028.
Yeah. Or you just gotta hope that they don't, like, take part in, like, how the generation's going now where it's not really 18, it's more like 23, 24. So then it's like, 2034.
Mm, I don't know. Yeah, because of the whole hold back with the COVID shit. But shit,
Wait,
I
did
don't
they actually
even.
hold people back down there?
No, it's just like it almost felt like time was frozen still or whatever. I know they did like remote
Oh,
learning or
yeah.
whatever, but it was just like a whole bunch of hiccups and everything.
Or kids that just didn't really do much of it for that
Yeah,
matter. I know my
they.
kid, like, remote learning meant that he just kind of didn't do anything. It's more or less he had a 7-month summer holiday, and not all of it was summer.
Yeah, boy, I didn't. Ah, man, that shit drove me fucking crazy because they would sit in front of the computer for a few hours and just pretty much do the homework with the teacher and just be off in the wind for the rest of the fucking day. And I'm just like, and then regardless of what school is intended to be, I mean, it is a break for the parents or whatever, because like they'll be at school, and if I got a day off from work, I got a day off, period. I can just kind of relax.
Yeah.
Nobody's at home, everybody at work and at school, but not with this remote learning shit. No, I'm in there trying to sleep on my day off and fucking rustling around and pouring cereal and clanging plates and shit. I'm just like, why?
Or the worst is, like, you finally it's like, the afternoon, you're like, "You know what? I think I'm gonna have a little nap on the couch."
Oh,
Get
that
on the
shit.
couch, and then, everything you're all good. Then you hear a door open, and you hear little footsteps. Then those faithful words, "Dad?" Damn it. What?
Yeah. Fortunately enough, I mean, my kids are past those ages now to where like they'll just go shut the fuck up in their room. Well, she does at least. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. But still, when they had two of them in the house, that's all I would hear, them fucking footsteps up and down them goddamn stairs. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like you're thinking to yourself, "Pretty sure there's a bathroom up there, like, what the hell?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for like the last time you was here, you was talking about you and the kid having a pod and whatnot.
Yeah.
So between that time up until now, me and my young one have embarked into the podcasting scene.
Really? How's that going? What's it called?
So well, it's not. a regular show or whatever. It's a Patreon exclusive for one of the shows that
Oh,
I do. So, but this is her dipping her toe into the realm of podcasting and everything.
yeah,
Well, I got a little chair back there, her microphone and whatnot.
nice.
So, so damn, we sitting here and we went see the Batman, the Robert Pattinson movie,
Okay,
and pretty much like the Spider-Man movie, the latest one, which at the time you had no clue of what the fuck was going on with that movie. Have you seen it since then?
gotta be honest, no, I haven't.
What?
The Well, between, like, the 8, 9-month pregnant girlfriend and then the baby, you know, I didn't wanna get yelled at by either one. But I should watch it, you're right. I need to get there. I need to get there.
God
We're
damn.
just gonna have to, like we're just gonna have to, like, throw my ass in a Texas pro wrestling match or some shit and, shoot me.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Just full on
But
shoot match.
much like when we went see the latest Spider-Man movie, she
Mhm.
had no knowledge of the previous Spider-Man movies. The Toby Ma-
Oh,
the, yeah, the Toby Maguire, the Andrew Garfield and shit like that. So
yeah,
when there were certain scenes in the new movie, she's like, "What the fuck is going on? Why everybody cheering and shit?" And I was just like,
yeah,
"Oh, I have failed you." you know?
yeah.
So we went back and we watched all the Spider-Man movies together, and
Nice.
she was telling me her experience, how her reactions, what she thought about all of them. And
Yeah,
then we went see the new Batman, and she
yeah,
knows vaguely of Batman. I don't know how much she knows about the character, but I know me and her prior to this movie, we were watching some of the animated series. So
yeah,
she knew about it in that aspect, but she had no clue about the 1989 Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. And I was like,
yeah.
you know what? We're gonna do the same thing again, but this time we're gonna record your we're gonna get your reactions. We're gonna do a review of each individual movie after we watch it. And that's the show that we do together. It's called The B and B Rob stands for Batman.
That sounds cool. She likes it?
Yeah. So right now we just finished watching Batman and Robin
Okay.
with George Clooney and Batgirl and
Yeah.
O'Donnell or whatever and all that shit. But we just recorded the episode for Batman Forever, so we haven't recorded the episode for Batman and Robin yet. But
Nice.
she likes all the movies so far.
You're like, "I just found a nice little hobby for us. Cool."
Mhm. So, with that being said, it's just like once we get to the end of this saga of movies, I'm trying to already think about what we're going to do next. A brief conversation came up about the Terminator films. So I was like, "Have you ever seen
Oh,
any of the Terminator movies?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Noted." So
yeah.
I got the Terminators in my back pocket.
Yeah, she'll be running around the house saying, "Get to the chopper."
Well, she already do
With
that.
a better accent, yeah.
She already
Oh,
do
she
that
already does
because
that.
yeah, because
She's already got the lines down,
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger is a meme in her realm.
Yeah, it's true, eh? It's
Mhm.
true. I have a hard time trying to transplant myself as to being, like, a 12-year-old girl again. I never was a 12-year-old girl, for one. So that helps not being able to relate.
Yeah,
And, I mean, I didn't have a cell phone when I was 12. I mean, that's
true.
something that changed too. My kid now has, like, a legit, phone number. He's progressed past just having the phone that only works on Wi-Fi, so, essentially, it was useless outside the house. He now has a phone that he can text and call people when he's outside the house, which
Yes.
was very cool up until you take him for a car ride. The first thing he's doing is phoning someone. He's like, "I got nothing else to do. I'm just gonna phone someone right now." Sit in the back seat
Same
yapping on the
thing.
phone.
Yeah, same thing with this kid or whatever. Not so much talking on the phone or whatever, but freaking mobile
Texting.
games and watching YouTube videos
Yeah.
and shit like that. So it's just like whatever. I mean, I think back to my childhood or whatever. I know we didn't have those amenities available to us, but for me, it was goddamn Game Boys and other handheld devices or whatever. So I mean, it's just a different
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, we were distracted by stuff that wasn't quite as cool, you know? We had, like, Game Boys where, the graphics weren't really that great, the game's pretty simple, but you know what? We were occupied for hours doing it, and now we look at what they
Yeah.
got, we're like, "You know what? That would've been really fun when I was, like,
And then,
10."
hopefully you're taking a ride during the daytime because once it get night, you got to wait till them street lamps come up before so you can see that spinach green screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Another movie that we briefly talked about since the last time you've been away was a Free Guy. I know you hadn't seen Spider Man, so I doubt if you've seen Free Guy, right?
No. 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 It was a good assumption on your part to say I probably haven't seen it. I need to start watching more movies before I come on here. I just need to, like, binge watch a bunch of movies and then come on here and be like, "Hey, I actually watched a movie."
What?
Instead, I came on here all like, "No, I actually watched some wrestling."
Oops. Well, hey, we could talk about that too. But another thing, because I listened to our episode earlier today, so I got all these burning questions that stick out in my mind from the last time we talked. Have you ever reached 3 in your 3 count yet?
3 in my 3 count. Oh, no, I
You
still haven't reached 3 in my 3 count. No, still hasn't
all right,
happened.
man. I'm
Oh,
I'm
damn,
glad.
did you hit 3?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Thankfully
oh
so.
god. No, no, I still haven't hit 3. No.
I still don't know what the fuck I'ma do.
I still don't know actually either. I know I don't usually have to get to 3 and usually I don't think it's 3 anymore.
Word. Well, shit. I know usually I
Right.
don't even have to you employ the count method. I can just be like, "Hey, god damn it!"
Yeah. He's at the point where I can be a little more aggressive with my stance, and I can skip the 1, 2, 3, and just go for a little more aggressive, and it gets the same reaction.
Word, word. But what about the stackable hooks? Did we cash in on that yet? Are we millionaires?
It's still pending.
Okay, I'm still waiting on that. I can understand.
Certain organizations, said that it was maybe slightly against the child's rights to be stashed away in a 3x3 padded plastic kennel looking thing, but still working on it. I'm gonna need a better job so I can get a better lawyer to help plead my case.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause that's what it all comes down to. You only make a lot of money, so you have to lose a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's why you get that good
exactly.
lawyer. But I was cracking up whenever I got to that portion in the podcast. The goddamn stackable huts. But damn,
Yeah.
we were talking about the wrestling or whatever earlier. But have you been keeping up? I mean, I know it's kind of hard with the schedule or whatever, but you did talk a little bit about it.
A little bit. Little bit. I've been following it kind of like somewhat on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I've kind of like dive into like a lot of those like shoot interviews with like Shawn Michaels and like Kevin Nash and those kind of things. Those are kind of fun hearing all those stories. Sid
Word.
Vicious, Jerry Jarrett. I was going back in time because I figured I wanted to hear kind of about stuff that I kind of half-assed remember happening in my day. Because I'm still kind of trying to catch up onto what's going on now. All of a sudden, I
Hmm.
realized CM Punk. All of a sudden, I realized yesterday CM Punk was in AEW. I'm like, wait, what? When did that happen? Trying to
Well,
Google shit.
to hip you to the game even a little bit more, as of Sunday, CM Punk is their world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, then I see that was how I seen that he was in AEW. I kind of missed the part where he's in AEW, and next thing you know, he's AEW champion, and I'm going, wait, I'm missing a few steps here. What's
Uh,
going
uh,
on?
so did they sign him and give him the belt at the same time?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was thinking there's probably a lead up to it, but then again, never know in wrestling. Sometimes they just kind of like go with the slappy in the face method.
Word.
Yeah,
And if
sometimes. By the way, I have to ask, how are you enjoying your color commentary for New Texas wrestling or New
yeah, New
Texas? Is it
Texas
New Texas?
for New Texas Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's been fucking amazing. Once again, I've had the privilege to work with somebody that does this all the fucking time, and he made it extremely easy for me to just kind of slot in there and just pretty much help. you know,
Yeah.
because he did all the work. I mean, I was the proverbial backpack. He put me on his shoulders and everything and strapped me down tight. And he just carried me around the whole thing and whatnot. He carried me ever so gently.
Well, that's good. You have your own little color commentary mentor.
Yeah. So I mean,
You
for
got your Tony
me,
Schiavone of the indie series.
yeah. So like for me, it's just like I take the approach of as I sit on my couch at home and I'm just pretty much telling you how I feel about this match that I'm seeing in front of me. That's kind of the approach I take to it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he stepped on his fingers, phalanges.
And it probably helps that like you used to be paying to go to the shows and now you're a volunteer and probably get to see that shit for free.
Yeah. I mean, and that was kind of like the thing beforehand anyway, or whatever. I would show up early to help, be like, hey, you need to move some shit around. I could take out some trash or something. I mean, what you need,
Yeah.
just let me watch the show, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to travel do you travel around for that or you just do it when it's kind of locally for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, they do majority of the stuff locally. I've never had the chance to do anything out of town. They did a show in Dallas, which is like 3.5 hours away from here for WrestleMania weekend because WrestleMania was in Dallas, and they was
Mhm.
going to do some shows out there, and I was going to go, but I wasn't able to make it out there, so I wasn't able to help and do anything that weekend. But
Was it them or
because
did you
of working with New Texas Pro and getting that opportunity to do commentary the time before, it got me another opportunity at a different place in Dallas to go do commentary.
Nice. So
So
it's like you're like you're a back half pro wrestling guy. Working in it though, not just like a fan of it.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
fucking fun, and
What
w-
so are we gonna see
once
Rob taking
again,
bumps one of these times?
oh man, I've done that before. I mean, I don't know if I want to do it again.
Didn't feel too nice.
No, I mean,
No?
oddly enough, you do kind of get used to it. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, it's like
this is
anything. I mean, I'm assuming the first time you get hit in football probably doesn't feel nice either. I never played
oh
football to
yeah,
know.
because I mean, you don't know what to expect, and your body is just like, this is not how it's supposed to work.
My body's not supposed to go like this. What the hell?
Mhm. I remember the first bump I took. I mean, I got hit and I went down and I sprang right back up, just like boom, and just like, and I was like, yeah, that was. And then it was just like it hit me later. It was a delayed effect. It was just like I my body didn't know how to process that shit.
And you forgot to sell it.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, did I do it right? Just like, yeah, but don't get up so fast. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
my body was like, ah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've many years later, after those times that when I actually did the training and everything, and helped out on road shows and stuff for the people that I was with in Missouri when I was still in the military, it was just like years later, being here, then I go to these New Texas Pro shows, and just being around the ring and the wrestling again is just like I get the itch. I'll be like, oh, I
Yeah.
just want to jump in there real quick. Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
think about my back just doing everyday regular shit, and I was just like, nah, never mind.
Once you realized how you feel on a regular day, you're like, I probably don't need to add taking wrestling bumps into that day into
Oh
that.
no, oh no. Oh no. So I know it's kind of hard for you with the new baby and everything, and then the current big boy and whatnot. For you to get into in any kind of media or whatever. But do you have any opportunity to read or anything like that?
I sometimes get the opportunity to read. Depends what I'm reading. What am I reading? Or
I don't know.
what are you
What
talking
are
about
you
reading?
reading? What are you reading?
What am I reading? What am I reading? That's a good question. Well, I end up on like I end up on Google, like somebody watching like a YouTube video, and then like how I end up on a rabbit hole of some like Dave Meltzer article some days. Oh, I decided like one day that I came to this glorious conclusion. There's a lot of money to be made on stock markets.
Uh
And
oh.
so I decided that I was going to go on this like glorious rabbit hole of find the highest dividend because, I seen in some article somewhere that dividends could make you a lot of money. And so I started Googling highest dividends and I'm like, damn, there's one that's like 17,000%. We need to get this like particular one. And then I looked it up and that was like a one-time thing 4 years ago and it's never happened again. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And then I found a reasonable one and I'm like, oh yeah, that would be good. One share, you get 5% of one share. I'm like, so how much it will take us 12 years to get our money back if we buy one share tomorrow. Okay, maybe this isn't as profitable as I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, shit. The best time you could when you should have got in on that shit was like when they had all that junk going on with GameStop and all that shit, man. Boy,
Yeah.
the stock market was jumping in, even just for like novice people or whatever. I got in there for a little bit, and I made enough money to fund a fucking trip for me and my family. Just real quick. And I got in and I got out, and I was just like, all right, I'm done with this shit.
If I didn't know you're talking about the stock market, you could really honestly like transplant that to like a whole lot of illicit activities and it basically come out the same way. I
Word.
got in, made a bunch of money, got out. Saying.
Well,
Oh, and
what I
I find that I make a lot of inappropriate jokes about the baby. So his mother, who's sitting beside me now, but she bought him this like little shirt and top or and bottoms and tops or whatever, but they had like these blue stripes on them. And so she puts it on him. I looked at him. I'm like, he looks like he's the from the Boy in Striped Pajamas, which is actually a movie I did see. But I'm like, we need to get him a little yarmulke,
oh, come on now.
and you know, it was inappropriate. But
Well, you should have been like, he looks like the
it's what I got
banana
to
in
go through.
pajamas.
Oh God, don't remind me of Banana Pajamas. Those guys
Come
tormented
on.
my childhood.
Come
I was
on. You
like, I was like, just I was just too old to like really enjoy them, but my sister loved them. So then I had to. Then she's 3 years younger, so I had to spend a lot of time watching Bananas in Pajamas when I'd
coming down
rather
the
be watching
stairs?
like Ninja Turtles. Yeah, but I'd rather watch Ninja Turtles or some shit. Power Rangers,
They be
There's
coming
better
down in
TV to be had.
pairs, right?
Yeah, always.
That
uh,
harkens me back to like lamb chop and shit with the song that doesn't end.
that was a good show. I like that show for whatever reason.
Mhm. My
I
wife
like Lamb Chop.
doesn't know what that is.
Really?
No.
She's never heard of Lamb Chop?
No. And
So
she's older
she
than
doesn't
me, so
even
I
she's
don't understand it.
maybe there's like just after her and
I don't know. I
died
told
just
my
after me, I guess.
I, I mess with my wife a lot now. I tell her I just like, you had a deprived childhood. 'Cause she's like, a lot of the shit that I had in my childhood, I would tell her about. She's like, what the fuck is that? What is this? I was like, it's not like you're super older than me or whatever. It's just like you're only a couple years older than me. How you not know about this shit? It's like,
What if it's regional or something? She's from the same area as you too, isn't she? Or
no, she's up north in Virginia.
oh, maybe it just wasn't around in Virginia.
I don't know. She had a deprived childhood. She didn't have a lot of shit.
You can go. We'll go with that. Yeah, it's your
Yeah,
show and shit.
she never seen Blazing Saddles up until 2 years ago.
Crazy. I know I was, like, pretty good on, like, stuff up till, like, year 2000.
until
Uh,
kids.
uh, yeah, and then kids happened, and I got really behind on everything.
Mhm. So, I mean, I know it's been a small time period from the time that we talked last time up until now or whatever, but I mean, still optimistic on this podcast and stuff. I mean, whenever you can get back into regularity and whatnot.
Well, actually, the one thing that did change is now my girlfriend, like, wants to do a show with me, so that's how I was able to, like, coerce her into, like, saying, "Hey, I need different gear," and she
Word.
said, "We can do that because I wanna do a show." I'm like, "Perfect." So, that's how we are here now to where, I probably sound okay and, you can actually see my face. I'm not like a black witness protection person.
Yeah. And this time your screen isn't vibrating.
Or that, because I was smart this time, and I went to Twitter for the link on the desktop instead of on my phone and clicked on it too early, but
So, I mean, where did that come from or whatever? I mean, her wanting to jump on and jump into the realm of podcasting and whatnot.
well, I mean, I made her kinda pay attention to it for a while, because she she'd be pregnant and perturbed that I wasn't being inclusive into what my hobbies being podcasting, so I then forced it down her throat for several months and made her enjoy it, and now she's like, I could go for doing that."
Mhm.
And then I'm like, "Cool, what do you wanna do about it?" "I don't know."
I don't
"Okay,
know.
cool." Yeah. "You wanna do it with moose?" "I don't know." I'm like, "Oh,
That
okay, well, uh, I'll
mm,
go figure out what we're gonna talk about, and I'll come back to you, I guess."
boy, that shit that shit bugs me to
Oh, I
no
did,
fucking end.
I did come up with this game, for I didn't really edit it, but I came up with this game, and I called it, Praise, Punish, or Adopt, and so I came up with, like, these parenting scenarios, and, like, you get your options where you could praise the child for it, you could punish them, or you could just give them up for adoption. And so it's like, no, it's like, your kid was on your phone, and they got onto this online casino, and they're screwing around with your credit card in this online casino. But when you find out about it, you found out about it because they won $5,000. Are you going to praise the child, punish the child, or give it up for adoption? Because you won $5,000, but that kid was pissing around with your credit card.
And I mean, we in a gray area here as well because how that kid fucking know about the gambling and all that stuff. I mean,
Oh,
no doubt. I mean, I don't have any questions of how the kid can get into the phone and daggone find a game or whatever, whatever. But being, able to skillfully win that amount of money and not have that knowledge about that shit or whatever. I mean, that's the gray area for me. Cause I mean, these kids are young as fuck and they know how to work all the electronics now because that's the era that they grew up in. But gambling, I don't know, that's something else.
yeah. But then again, it's just like I came up with like about 8 or 9 of them that were just like, it's like different scenarios where like what they did was probably wrong, but ended up it was kind of like a oddly positive outcome. Another one was like your child like cut their little sibling's hair, but they did an oddly good job. It's like, are you gonna praise the child, punish the child, or give it up for adoption?
I'm gonna punish. Cause
Yeah,
like,
but
I
it's
mean,
like
yeah, I mean, you did a good job. You saved me a little bit of money or whatever, but you shouldn't be up in the kid's head like that. And you shouldn't be playing with sharp objects or whatever. What's the kid age range is what I'm trying to figure out first.
yeah, I don't know. I think I was kinda going with, like, probably my oldest, so, like, like, the preteenish age, I guess, maybe a little younger.
Mhm. I don't know. We got
Uh,
some parameters we got to work out or whatever. Cause I got too
yeah.
many questions.
It's a broad range hypothetical,
Mhm.
I didn't really think it through to, like, all the specifics of it. I guess when questioned, I don't know necessarily what the parameters were of the of the age group of the children in question.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think you're on to something, whatever. But it's just me though. I was just like, well, hold on, I got questions because it's just like when I go do the Walmart log shit or whatever. I find
Yeah.
all these items in the alcohol aisle, and I'm just like, I need to find the logic in this. I mean, so they went all the way in the sporting section that's on the other side of the building. Then they brought that shit all the way over to this side of the building. Then they left it here in the cooler freezer where all the beer is. I mean, did they get a
Yeah.
beer instead of this thing? Or, I mean, did they just say fuck it and just happen to leave it here? I need to know. I got questions.
Yeah. Like, did Buddy really go into Walmart, get himself a pair of sneakers and a basketball, happen to saunter past beer, go, "Ooh, beer," and pull Homer Simpson, drop the basketball in the shoes, and grab a case of beer and walk out?
I don't know. I need to know these answers to these questions.
'Cause I don't know, I don't really walk around, well, maybe I do, but I don't necessarily put stuff down back in, like, weird places. I don't know about you in a store, but I have, like, a little bit of store etiquette, you know? It's like, if I picked up a basketball and then I've walked 15 feet and I decide I no longer want this basketball, I will go put the basketball back where I found it,
And then the thing with
generally speaking.
basketballs, and the thing with basketballs and anything, I mean, you ain't gonna be walking around with no basketball without dribbling that motherfucker. And then if you do
No.
decide that you're gonna put it back, you ain't gonna just, you know, walk it back over there. If it's in one of those basketball bin baskets, you shooting that shit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why it's a general vicinity because, you know, you shoot it, if it bounces out, it's not your problem anymore, at least you tried.
It's like it's in the area. It's where
Uh,
it's in the realm of where it's supposed to be.
it was the thought that counts. That's what my mother always told me anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point to where, like, if me, the young child, and the wife, we go to Walmart or something like that, my wife would be like, "Yeah, y'all gonna go see what choices were made?" And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about it right away. And I'd be like, "Yes, yes, we are." And then then if me and the child go or whatever, she's just like randomly pointing out shit. I mean, we don't even have to be in the alcohol aisle. She just all over the store proper. She'd be like, "Choices were made. Choices, 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 choices."
She's rating on it, eh?
She's right in on it.
Yeah. Pretty soon, it's gonna be the random rumbles with Rob and his little one, because she's just gonna casually mark her territory like a cat, and, you know, just
Oh,
next thing you know, she'll be in the background being like, "Dad, remember you said you're gonna ask that question." "Oh, sorry, sweetie."
and she is like that though. If I say I'm
Yeah.
gonna do something like or whatever, and she'll be like, "Dad, you said the thing about the thing and the stuff." Like, what thing and the stuff? Well, you said on this day at this time, it was a Wednesday. The wind was blowing at 30 nautical degrees southeast. But it's like, what? I don't. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning.
Yeah. You're gonna have to forgive daddy, there's a lot on his mind.
hmm Yeah, I got to figure out how I'm gonna stack these goddamn kid huts.
Yeah, yeah. I know the older one got, like, a rude awakening the one day, when the baby's relatively newborn, so he's crying and, like, I'm trying to feed him, and he's tired, and he's fighting me, and he's fighting me, and the older one walks in and goes, "Hey, dad, when are you gonna be making supper?" I looked at him, and was like, "Do I look like I have fucking time to make supper right now?" He's just like, "Uh, no." I'm like, "Sorry."
and
God.
then you're just like, okay, I guess I go fuck off now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like he decided that he would go, you know, open that fridge door and see what for himself what was in there to eat.
Yeah,
And then I
I
felt
found
bad, so after I got the baby calmed down, I went and apologized for the harshness of the reaction.
yeah, I find myself getting those quick snacks or whatever, which also wind up being a detriment to me as well. So like, you get hot pockets, little microwavable pizzas, and cup of noodles or some shit like that. Be like, I wind up in your situation. Like I'm doing something that needs my attention right now, and then be like, hey, what's up with some food? I was like, go eat a cup of noodles or some shit.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
now this motherfucker, all she wants is some goddamn cup of noodles and fucking pizzas and all kinds of other shit after I done cooked like a meal, or my wife more than likely cooked a meal, and she just want to eat a cup of noodles and shit. I'm just like, you motherfucker.
Oh, I'm lucky. My kid loves my food, so, like, he kinda feels offended if he has to, like, settle for, like, a pizza pop or something because it's not quite as good as what dad's making. I mean, he'll take it, but, he's gonna eat that pizza pop, and he's gonna come back half an hour later and still ask what's for supper because that was just a
Word.
snack. Yeah,
Word.
because he still wants supper after.
I wish my kid was like that. But dude, me and my wife, we like to go experience new cuisine. We like to find places we never ate before, especially her, because she's picky as fuck, but she want to try all the goddamn different shit or whatever, it's a conundrum in itself. So
Yeah, that seems like someone wanting to be mad about things
yeah.
sometimes,
So we
I don't
we
get
we
it, but
take the kid with us, and she's a young child, she's 11, we want her to experience new things and stuff or whatever too, so we take her to these new places with us. And me and my wife like, oh, I never had this before, and oh, I never had this before. And she's like, what are you gonna get? Chicken strips. We go somewhere else. Oh man, this looks great. What about this? What about this? What are you getting?
chicken
I
strips.
think I'm gonna get the chicken strips.
Yeah. It's like you always can walk into the place and just know ahead of time. That's the guy at the front. You guys sell chicken strips? All right, we're good.
Yep.
Mom and dad
Got
can figure something else out from the rest of the crap. With strips, we're good.
Yep. And if they don't have chicken strips, hopefully there's burgers and fries.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm lucky that I can usually my kid like my little 11-year-old. He's been learning nutrition at school, so he's got all that nutrition stuff up there. Doesn't really use it,
Oh,
but it's there. But it's also there for dad to turn on and off is the need. So what's in there? Oh, it's just stuff that's good for you. It'll make you grow strong. Oh, you mean we're eating healthy today? Yeah, yeah. He's oh great. And he just shoves it in his mouth. I'm like, perfect.
damn.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn. Texas has failed me. They don't talk about nutrition enough.
yeah, yeah. I also, but in the same context, dad's a smoker, and so when that
Oh,
got brought up at school, I got the speech when he got home. You know, dad lights up a smoke, and all of a sudden, Dad, do you know how much blah 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 is in cigarettes? Yeah, I know. I want the same stuff when you were shut up.
yeah. And then it's kind of like, I mean, I have the occasional cigar. I mean, like it's very, very seldom that I have one now. But like, me and my wife, we drink wine and stuff like that. And the young child see that or whatever, and she would always joke about it. And I'm just like, I wish I didn't start doing this around you, because it's just like, I know it's a joke from a child or whatever, but I mean, it's still like, it's in their brain somewhere. It's just like, well, they do it,
Yeah,
but and I'm just like,
yeah. COVID was bad for that because you had all the kids stuck at home, and dad were just bored as shit because all the kids are stuck at home. So he started drinking at 2 in the afternoon. You know,
yeah.
try and get a good night's sleep before the kids are awake because they didn't wake up till 7 p.m. So
And then,
they wake up at 7 p.m. Mom and dad are kind of like half snapped by the time they're even up.
yeah, and then my kid kind of looks at it as a joke now or whatever, to where like for Mother's Day, because my wife loves coffee and she likes
Yeah.
wine. So for Mother's Day, my young child got her a little sign that says coffee time, and then you flip it down, it says wine time. So it depends on what type of the day it is. You flip it up for the wine, flip it down for the coffee.
Or, if you had too much wine, the next day you have to flip back down for coffee to feel okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So now that your daughter is getting into the podcast world, dipping your toe in, so to speak, does that make your wife want to dip her toe in any more than it already is, or is she still just down for her 1 to 2 shows a year,
Yeah, she's just down for the annuals.
the annuals? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, she plenty creative, but I think she's had a sour taste in the mouth from past experiences or whatever, to where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
she's real hesitant to get back into stuff like that. Like, I guess she don't want to get disappointed or let down or something. I don't fucking know, but I don't know. I'm fine with her just doing the annuals. It's something that I look forward to every year. It gives me motivation to make it to another year, so just so we could do that shit and
Yeah.
everything. But I don't know. We might have an appearance on the Batman show because she said once we get to the trilogy, the Christian Bale era of Batman or whatever, she's like, let me know. I want in on that shit.
Oh, so you're just gonna have the family pod going on.
Maybe. I don't know. She said she wanted to watch the movies for sure, but I don't know if she's gonna get down on the pod. But since the little one is in on it, she might talk her into it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That you never doubt that the young lady's mom coercing abilities.
Yeah, exactly. Because this last episode that we recorded for Batman Forever, one of my co-hosts from RBR Weekly Wrestling Talk, he said, whenever you get to Batman Forever, let me know because I want to be on that show. So he was on there with me and her, and she got to interact with somebody other than me on the podcast. So that was pretty cool to see that too.
So has he is he now her friend?
Yes, that's how it works.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know like I let my kid talk to one of my podcast friends, and then I basically got fired from his podcast that I helped him start at uh Pet Fever, and next thing you know, he's like, "Nah, I want to talk to my friend." I was like, "It's my friend. Stop claiming it. It's not yours.
Yeah.
It's mine. He's only talking
Well,
to you because you came out of me, ish, sort of, in a way."
yeah. So like that's how it is with her. I would introduce her to people that I know and people that I met from podcasting and everything like that. And if she hangs around and she like him or whatever, whenever we get away from him, she's like, "Can we steal him or her or whoever? Can we keep them?"
They're not pets, sweetie.
Yep. But that's
Maybe
how
they
it
are. I
be.
don't know. Yeah.
Yes. To her it is.
I, I know, like, one thing I didn't expect from my kid getting a phone was the fact that his reading would go from, like, being to being actually pretty good and pretty quick to the point where now I have to, like, really pay attention to his physical position when I'm texting, depending on what I'm trying to say. Because, he can be over my shoulder. Next thing I know that he's following along word for word what I'm saying. I'm like, I need to take a left turn here.
It was like, hey, god damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes he is like, and I said, "Oh, damn, you're watching? Damn, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I
Take
gotta
that
be
back."
wary of that too. I gotta be wary of that too, because Instagram might get the hold of me one time, and I'm just like I'm scrolling through those certain sections, and the kid walking around like, where the hell you come from?
Yeah, it's like, I just gotta put my phone away real quick. Don't mind me.
Mhm.
It's
I
dangerous.
try to teach my child about boundaries and shit, because I've noticed like sometimes I do be texting and she be trying to creep over and look at what I'm texting. I'm like, excuse me, can I get a little room or whatever? Or like one of the things that I kind of help to reinforce that she got a debit card and everything because we trying to teach her about money and budgeting and shit like that. So she got a pin number. I was like, hey, when you make this pin number, you need to write it down somewhere, where you can access it in case you need it again or you forget. Because we don't want you to tell us or whatever. Because I mean, this is your personal pin. That's how we treating it. So
Yeah,
whenever I
yeah,
take it to the store and let her buy her own things and stuff,
yeah,
she put a card in there. She about to put it. I was like, hey, you better cover your thing. I'm gonna steal your pin number. You know, and she'd be
yeah.
like covering it up and everything. Or sometimes like I've told her so much to where like I'm just standing there and just not paying attention or whatever to what the fuck I'm doing. And she'd be like, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
How's that working for you? Do you find that he has like good money management skills with like the debit card? Because I always found that like for a long time the debit card was like detriment to my money management skills, is because it was just all too easy to spend ungodly amounts of money in one day on absolutely nothing.
Well, that's why we're parents, right? Well, I
Yeah,
mean, that's not why we're parents. We're parents because we was fucking without condoms and contraceptives. But no, it's just
true.
like being a parent, we in a position to be like, I know where I fucked up, so let's try not to let you
Yeah,
do that too.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's
that's
true.
that's pretty much that's pretty much the point to where why we trying to catch her while she young, because we can kind of mold
Yeah,
that a little bit and everything. And we was like, right now for the summer, because the way she would earn her money is doing good in school. So you make
okay.
these grades, you get paid based on your grades. So now that
Yeah,
we're here into the summer, her responsibilities are gonna uptake now, with chores and all kinds of things like that. I was like, well, since you're not in school, you can't get paid based on your grades. Your performance at home, the way you clean your room, keep your bathroom clean, do your laundry, take care of the dog and everything, that's going to be based on how you get paid weekly, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah,
the better job you do, the more clean you keep your stuff, the more you have potential to get paid. And
yeah.
then I told her she's gonna have a pay period once a week. Um the hardest thing with her and trying to manage her funds, and she don't spend her money a lot, but when she do figure out something that she want to spend it on, that's
It's gone.
that's when we yeah, that's when we have to have the talk or whatever. Cause like it started small first before we even got the debit card. We there's an arcade here down the
Yeah,
road. It's kind of like Dave and Buster's or some shit like that, to where they give you the little card and then you put the tokens on the card. Then you just go swipe when you want to play a game or some shit like that. But if you play the right kind of games, they give you tickets and shit, right? They don't give you physical tickets anymore. They put the tickets on the card. Then you go to the little kiosk thing and you're like, oh, this how many tickets I got on my card. I want that item there. So that's how it is now. So I kind of use that as the debit card at first. So I would take her to the arcade. I loaded up,
oh, yeah,
I loaded up with some money, and I let her go run off and everything. And I was just like, well, I know you want to play games and stuff, but like if you play these games, you get something in return. You're not just like putting your tokens in there. You're not getting nothing out of it but
yeah,
playing a game. But if you play this one, you get tickets, and if you get tickets, you can buy something from over here. So she's like, okay. So she would play the ticket games and everything. And then as soon as she get tickets, she go to the little kiosk, be like, ooh, I can get this little 1 for 5 tickets here. I can get this little, little shit like that. And I was just like, well, I mean, that's cool. You could get that. But if you just play some more games,
yeah,
save your tickets, you can get that plush thing over there. So it was a thing like that. It's like, well, you go to work, you work for your tickets, you save your tickets, then
yeah,
you can get these things that you want. So that's kind of how I played it at first. And that wasn't even really on purpose. It was just kind of like subconsciously I was doing that shit. And I was like, oh shit, we kind of already doing this. Cause then my wife brought up the thing about the debit card, and I was just like, yeah, I think that might be a good idea. I think she can handle it because we had such a good thing going on with the tickets and the token stuff or whatever.
so you have a no cash allowance then?
Well,
Like, as a kid, can you imagine that when you got your allowance that it would come on, like, this little card, and the little card never ever changes, it's always the same card, but
mhm,
that's where your allowance is. It's like,
yeah,
here's this card, that's where your allowance is. Well, what next
mhm,
week's allowance? It'll still be there. It's like, wow,
mhm.
okay.
And I find it's convenient, but I mean, it's a sign of the times, man.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's true.
I don't carry around cash, so I mean, it's kind of hard for me. Like, all right, now I gotta go to ATM or some shit or whatever, get money out and give it to you. But to that same effect, not too long ago. I mean, with my son and my oldest daughter, I was taking them to the actual bank and showing them how to fill out bank slips and deposit checks and all kinds of shit or whatever. With her, the young one is going to get to a point to where like She can just snap a picture of her fucking shit and then do it on the fucking phone. You don't even have to go to the goddamn bank.
I already can. I was doing that for a while. I've been doing that for a while. If I get a check, if it's not already direct deposited, like it already just
Mhm.
automatically goes there. Yeah,
Yeah,
pull out the phone, take a picture of it, and boom, it's done.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, so that's the kind of things that she'll and they have to worry about now. It's just like direct deposit, boop boop boop. All this shit's done. It's all digital now or whatever. I mean, I gave her cash I took her to the bank a few times just to kind of give her the experience or whatever. I was like, hey, this is an ATM. This is how you use your debit card in the ATM because she has that access too. I showed her how to do everything. And I also showed her how to deposit money if she had paper money, you know. But I
Yeah,
mean, I doubt if she retained any of that because it's something that she doesn't normally do. But
yeah.
I told her, I mean, it was one time that I did it just because I wanted to do it. I owed her $2. And instead of giving her two singles, I went to the bank and I got a $2 bill and I paid her in a $2 bill
Did she enjoy
just
that?
to do it. Yeah, she's like, what is this? It's
Yeah.
what? She's like, this is really rare, right? She's like, wow. I think she still
Did you
have it.
guys
I don't know if
discontinue the $2 bill?
they still have them at the bank. I mean, because I have I keep some paper cash, but I mean, I don't really carry it. I just kind of like stack it up somewhere just in case I need it. So I was going to the bank and getting $10 worth of $2 bills just to have them, just to fucking have them. I would also get $50 bills too because you don't see those floating around a lot. I went to the brunch with one of my friends and I paid for the thing with a $50 bill, and somebody was at the end of the bar and they seen me sit it down up there. And then when I was leaving out, he's like, "Hey man," yeah, you can see him. He's like, "Was that a $50 bill?" He's like, "Yeah, that's a 50." He's like, "Hey man, I give you $50 if I can get that from you."
Weird. It's funny because we have like up here in Canada, we got like change for everything under 5.
Yeah,
But
loonies and toonies.
yeah, yeah. That's what that's did you have you heard that joke about why the toonies called a toonie?
No,
And
I just
originally
know
they
it because
wanted
of
to have.
I just know it because like Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, okay. Well, so like there's this joke about the toonie. It's like, well, originally instead of polar bear, they wanted to have two moose having sex, so they could call it two fucking bucks.
That I like that.
Yeah. So that was the joke that came from the toonie is that it wasn't supposed to be a polar bear. It's supposed to be two moose having sex, so you could just call it two fucking bucks.
Yeah. And did they apologize right after that for using foul language?
No, no, they didn't.
I don't know. Y'all so
That's a
polite up
misnomer.
there.
Yeah, to everyone else, it's just we're around each other. We're not as polite.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, sir, it's been a pleasure to sit down and chat and catch up with you or whatever. I mean, you're always welcome to come back. But this is where we're going to put a pin in it, homeboy.
Alrighty. Thanks for having me again,
Already.
Rob. It was fun. It was a quick hour and 13 minutes or
Hmm.
whatever it was ish. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually shorter than that if you count the interlude or whatever that's still in here. So
Oh yeah. I guess there was that like 6.5 minutes of just like shooting the crap before we realized that we probably should actually start.
yeah, it's still here. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know
Exciting
you
things to come.
I know you're ever so seldom on the lines and whatnot or whatever because you got responsibilities that you have to take care of as a parent, as a man, or
Yes.
whatever. But let everybody
Yes.
know where they can find you on social media whenever you are there.
Well, really, I'm only on Twitter these days, and you can find me Stinky Dad 87. And every now and then, I have something to say, something to tweet out. I need to let the world know my thought. Uh, and it happens every so often. DMs are generally open. You can always contact me there. And yeah, and I'm just kind of a perma podcast guest at this point. Not
Word.
doing so good on my own thing, but I'm just helping other people Uh, enjoy me, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, enjoy me, damn it. Yep.
Yeah,
But at but
love
as it
me.
is
Give good
for
comments.
but as it is for every guest of the Random Rounds with Rob, you've been a guest before. The door is always open for you to come back and look at all my junk over there in the hall.
Yeah.